everybody, this is Joe Joseph, and this is the DailySheeple.com's News Shot. Let's go to Activist Post, who has a great piece. Who cares about the wealth gap if everyone is richer? Yeah, I guess you're right, Joe Jarvis. He writes, how many successful people can there be? It seems like after every article you read these days, the author bio talks about a book that they've written or an invention that they've created, a prestigious award, or some other indicator of great success, yet I've never really heard of most of them. I used to get pangs of jealousy, he says, when I would see the descriptions like that of successful people. It almost felt like there was a limited number of success spots on planet Earth, and if there were taking one up, of course, it made it much less likely for me to get one. But it's not true. You see, there is no limit to the number of successful people that can exist, especially since everyone has a slightly different idea of success. And I would have to agree. However, if you think about opportunity comes to some more than others. Some people are just born with a bad hand. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're any less smart than anybody else, but their hill or the road that they have is probably a steeper hill to climb. I know many people that came from single-parent homes that grew up being discriminated against. Heck, when I went to high school, and I entered as a sophomore, I was a minority. And I got to learn firsthand what it felt like. And I know how it feels. And a lot of people that say, this whole racism thing doesn't exist. It does exist. There's no doubt about it. And that also plays into it. The race card. Doesn't matter if you believe in it or not. The fact that people discriminate happens all the time. And it doesn't have to be about color. It could be about how much you make. It could be about your religious preference. Hell, it could be about a sports team that you go for. Everybody discriminates. So while I do believe that absolutely anybody can be successful, the road to success is different for everybody and everyone. And so some people have it easier than others. That's the only way I can say it. He writes, for example, let's use the amount of healthy food that can be purchased as an indicator of wealth. If a poor person could only afford 10 pounds of healthy food per week and a rich person could afford 100 pounds, the rich person is 10 times richer than the poor person. But now suppose a poor person can afford 100 pounds of healthy food per week and a rich person can afford 2,000 pounds. True, the wealth gap has doubled from 1 in 10 to 1 in 20, yet the poor person is living as richly as only the wealthy person could in years past. And that's what the wealth gap is all about. And what he's saying is that the definition of poor has actually risen as time has gone on. And I guess you could say you're right. A la inflation has caused the wages to go up or appear to go up. But I'm going to tell you this. Back in 1953, we'll say, we'll compare a bagger at a grocery store to, say, a cashier or bagger at a grocery store today. We'll use Walmart for an example. The average wage at Walmart last year was $8.80 an hour. $8.80 an hour. Now, if you take that bagger at a grocery store in 1953 and you adjust his or her salary for inflation today, they would be making the equivalent of $38 an hour today. That's because the dollar back in 1953 went so much farther. So you could have a dad or, the head of household be a grocery store clerk. And that's all you'd have to be. And you could sustain your family. And you could have a house. I mean, honestly, you couldn't have all the frills and all the stuff that the rich people have, but you had a much better quality of life where the necessities are concerned. So while I agree on the one hand, on the other hand, I don't. And I think that success is often stifled by our education system. Our education system forces everybody to learn cookie cutter style instead of customizing education for the individual, because no person is wired the same. No two people are wired the same. Or, opportunity abounds for people that may have been born into money, vice being born into the projects. Obviously, there's quite a difference. So there's a lot of variables to go on, but one could say that you have more opportunity today, especially with the internet, than you did as somebody that lived in the 1950s. I guess it's up for debate. But the wealth gap has certainly increased, and it's only getting larger. And I believe that as time goes on, and we're due for a recession here in the United States, that you're going to see that wealth gap widen even further. I'm Joe Joseph. This was thedailysheeple.com's News Shot. Feel free to comment below and visit our website at thedailysheeple.com. Have a great day, everybody.